Alright, so Ironheart episode 1. I'm not exactly sure how to go about this besides actually just going through what happened. So, Riri is kicked out of MIT because she is willing to do anything to make money. Well, seemingly almost anything to make money to fund her projects of making a suit of armor a la Iron Man so she can help the world, which they're really trying to make her out to be similar to Tony Stark. I mean, Tony was also so desperate to help people that he kind of was a little wishy-washy on the consequences. I mean, let's face it, when he started life, he was an arms dealer. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Iron Man used to be an arms dealer. He didn't exactly start with this idealistic notion of the world. So it's just that when he became Iron Man, he realized, putting these weapons in the hands of the enemy, probably not the best idea you could come up with. So, Riri kind of has that same arc going on. Only she's starting off as a fairly good, sweet character. Yes, she's helped everyone around her plagiarize. That she's done their homework for them, but that's a trope as old as time. That the nerd is willing to do what they need to do to advance their goals. And it's just that the dumbasses of the world benefit. In this case, maybe not complete dumbasses, because the things that she's helping with are not exactly like high school math, but still. It's to the point where they're gonna quickly find out they're way over their heads. But anyway, so she gets kicked out because apparently she's been costing the school a lot of money. So it's not just... And the way she even said, I've learned my lesson, I'll go back to just doing my schoolwork. It was obvious that she was bullshitting. That she was just saying what she thought the deans wanted to hear. And, so she gets kicked out, and so she takes her suit of armor with her. Of course, she had to steal a device so she could gain access to her suit of armor, and in doing so, apparently it has training wheels on. It has some sort of school assistant, which is tied to the school. And my question is, why would Riri do that? Why would she tie it to the school so closely? I mean, she did try a manual override, but that didn't work at all. So she has no choice but to go home to Chicago. Now, throughout the episode, we see the same flashbacks of her with her stepfather and with Natalie, her best friend. Now, we still, as of the end of episode 1, don't completely know what happened to Natalie and her stepdad. It's obvious they are both dead. I kind of got that sense during the montages because they kept playing it. And then she went with Xavier, who, talked about her stepdad, and Riri was not thrilled to hear this, which, I don't know. I mean, he's trying to help her by saying, remember all the good times with your stepdad. And so while this is all happening, the Hood and his gang of robbers, I guess, try to hit what looks like a mansion. Now, we don't know why. We don't know if there's a specific goal, or they're just robbing just to rob. Rob the rich. And everybody has a nickname except for Stuart. Well, Stuart has a nickname, just nobody uses it. And why? Because he, isn't as good as he claims he is. And just an aside, that one guy's eyeshadow is gorgeous. Normally, I'm not into makeup, but his eyeshadow is just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So, so of course, their attempt at robbery fails miserably. So then it's about, okay, how do we find a replacement for Stuart? And one of the members was like, let's not fire Stuart. Let's give him another chance. So I really wonder what's going to end up happening to Stuart. Because, of course, his replacement ends up being Riri. And Riri is being followed by this guy. And I didn't catch his name. Actually, I had a hard time with the dialogue. So, yay. But, apparently, I think he and the Hood are cousins. So, he's following Riri. And Riri and Xavier are picking out a bunch of hardware that she needs to remake her suit. And in so doing, she's going to ask Jim if he could pretty please let her have that haul for free. I assume that that's where she was going with this, because it's like, yeah, I don't have the money. So so he pays for it. And it's amazing how Riri lets, just all this stuff happen to her. Like some strange guy is paying for her stuff. Most women would not want that. They would be like, no, that's perfectly fine. But no, she let it happen. Most women are jaded enough that they would question, why is a man paying for my stuff? A man who, I don't know. I mean, it could be that he was just doing a random act of kindness. He could be much creepier than that. So I'm surprised that she was like, okay. So maybe she was willing to do what the creep wanted. I mean, I don't know. So he tells her about the person that he works for. So he gives her the card for a pizza place, which should have been her first clue that something is seriously off, because you work for a guy and the card you're giving me is a pizza place. Not that, oh no, we just operate out of a pizza place. He just gives her a card for a pizza place, and just gives her instructions of how to get in, where to, specific instructions of where the elevators are, and the restaurant is closed. She walks in anyway. She notices that the door is open and she walks in. Okay. Not sure that it was the smartest move on her part. And Xavier is watching this, and you can see he's not thrilled at all. So it's possible he already knows who that guy is. Anyway, he anyway, she goes into the pizza place, goes into the elevator she's told to go into, and it starts smoking, and she's told that she has 3 minutes to put on a gas mask and, disarm the gas mask. Get the gas mask on. That's what they expected. And she's like, screw this. I'm going to override whatever it is that's creating the smoke. And everybody is watching there and oohing and ahhing. I love those guys. I really do. I really hope that they have a moment where they realize, you know what? We want these things. We want these goals. Maybe there's better ways to do it than, robbing people. But anyway. So she gets out of the elevator and she's super pissed. And she seems to be terribly strong. So I don't know if it was just adrenaline or they're making her out to be pretty strong. Not entirely sure. And of course they make fun of Stuart, except for Riri. Riri seems to know who Stuart is. And I mean, I'm not saying that she's oohing and ahhing over him, but she's familiar with it, which makes Stuart's day. Now, this is where I initially was like, yeah, girl, because first off, she was not going back onto that elevator because she didn't trust it, which, fair. I mean, they did try to put you into a death trap, so can't blame them. Can't blame you for that. But she also said, yeah, I'm not doing this. I do not care. I am not doing this. I'm going to find another way. Until she saw the wads of cash. Now, on the one hand, I was disappointed that she's like, okay, 3 heists. That's it. On the other, I was like, I wish you had your backbone. It's like, yes, that's a lot of money, and I understand the allure because you need that money for your suit, so I get that. But at the same time, you just said that, you're willing to help with crimes. Because as far as that goes, before she was doing what they call plagiarism, because she was doing other people's homework for them. But at the same time, this is on a whole other level. Now, she did make sure that nobody's going to get hurt because she doesn't want to hurt anyone. So the question becomes, if the shit hits the fan, how quickly is she going to bail? Is she going to be like, oh, well, that person got kind of hurt, but I need the money, so I'm just going to keep going? Or if she's going to stop. Obviously, she stops at some point, but the question is, does she do the full 3 heists? Or does she, at some point, not do it anymore? And like, yeah, I'm out. So, she has to create her suit overnight. And she is still mourning the loss of her best friend. Now, at first, I was wondering if they're related, if they're sisters, because they were hanging out with her stepdad, or if she just Riri hangs out with her stepdad, and Natalie, because they're best friends, was hanging out with Riri. That's a possibility, too. And now, like I said, we don't know exactly what happened. We heard some sort of ruckus, and Natalie going to check it out. Actually, both Natalie and her stepdad going to check it out. And then you hear Riri yell Natalie and she's crying. So obviously this is the incident where she ends up getting killed, but we still don't know exactly what happened, what the exact circumstances are. I mean, was it a robbery? Was it something else? And so in so doing, because was so thinking of her best friend becomes her AI. So it ends with her fainting at the realization that her AI is her best friend. Now, maybe, her mother suggested that, she never truly got to mourn her best friend. So it's possible that she is going to, that this is her being Riri's AI might actually be some form of therapy for Riri to finally get over her death. But it sounds like she isn't completely over her stepfather's death either. So I wonder if he's going to make an appearance somehow. Don't know how, but it's possible that he might be making an appearance, because if they're going to bring back Natalie, why not the stepfather? The question is just simply, how are they going to do it? And like I said, you do see parallels, because Riri is harping over, oh, this guy did this with so much money. In the original Iron Man, he was in a freaking cave, and he made his Iron Man suit from scraps, because he is a genius. It had nothing to do in that moment. It had nothing to do with the fact that he was a billionaire. Granted, his first Iron Man suit looked like a tank. He obviously perfected it later on because he has the money. But he didn't start off like that. So it'll be interesting to see. We know that Riri is going to turn good. She's never been a bad person. She's doing this just for the money, just to get her suit up and running. So I wonder, but like I said, I wonder if at some point she's like, I'm out. Before the 3 heists are up, or after the 3 heists, she's like, oh, good, because I'm actually a hero, I'm going after you now for what you've done. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how this is going to play out. Let's see if there's anything else about this episode I wanted to mention. I think I covered everything I wanted to in this episode. So with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Oh, and before I go, a little bit of housekeeping. I do want to watch and do a video for episode 2 tomorrow, Thursday. However, I am having my permanent crown put in that day. It's going to be late morning. So, obviously, I'm going to have half my mouth numb. And that's going to take a bit for the numbness to go away. So, I do not know if I next do this video how I'm going to be talking. Because I should be good to go the moment I leave the dentist, but it takes a while for the numbness to run out. So I don't know what I'm going to sound like. I don't know how I'm going to look, what I'm going to sound like. So yeah. So you've been warned that I might look or sound a little bit different because of half my face being numb. So anyway, with that, I will see you guys in the next video.